Welcome, beautiful healers. Stephanie here with Tuesday Tips. So we've been talking about the law of attraction all month, and I kind of want to stick with this theme. And one of the tips I gave you for the law of attraction was not just to visualize, but to believe that you're worthy. Believe you deserve what it is that you want. So in today's training, I want to talk to you a little bit more about that because it's challenging to know about your belief system sometimes. So what I want you to do, I'm going to give you my 3 top tips on how to change your belief system. This is a process. This is not 1, 2, 3, you're going to do it. And as a healer, you know healing takes time. It's not a one and done kind of scenario. So today I'm going to give you my 3 top tips and know that it is going to be a process. Okay? So when it comes to your beliefs, do you really believe that you deserve success? Do you? And you can do this in a number of ways, but I'm going to show you a quick and easy way to figure out your beliefs. So first you want to kind of identify your belief. The way we are human, we are energy. We are human lie detectors. I don't know if you're aware of this. We actually are human lie detectors. So the way you're going to test whether or not it's you believe something or not, you're going to test yourself. Okay? You are going to give yourself your lie detector test. You're going to stand up, feet shoulder width distance apart. You want to put your hands out at your sides, and you are going to close your eyes. And the reason you want to close your eyes is because our eyes actually help us stabilize. And if you want to test that out, the way you're going to do that is you can't see it, but you're going to lift all 10 toes and then you're going to put them down. And you're going to realize whether or not you swayed. You're going to do the same thing, but you're going to close your eyes. And you probably will sway a little bit one way or the other. And that's because you might be a little out of balance. So we want to do this with our eyes shut. And you're going to start small. You're going to start with a simple question. And maybe you want to start with something like, my name is Stephanie Younger. And you're going to feel yourself sway. And maybe you saw me moving towards you in the camera, because that was a true statement. Then you say, my name is Minnie Mouse. And I don't know if you caught it, but I started to fall backwards. So what you want to do is you want to stand with your feet shoulder width distance apart, arms out at your sides comfortably. Close your eyes and make a statement, a true, false statement. True, you will fall forwards, back. When you fall back, that statement is false. I deserve success. I am worthy of success. Ask yourself questions. Do I have beliefs around my success which are holding me back? Yeah. And then you can go a little bit deeper. Now, you may want to meditate, you may want to journal on that. But the easiest way to know whether or not you believe that you deserve something, that you're worthy of something, is to do this quick lie detector test. And you can do this with anything. I do this with I want to get dressed in the morning. What do I want for dinner? I mean, I ask myself these questions all the time about the most things that you might think are the most trivial. But the more you do it, the more you will also get used to knowing how your body reacts to true false statements. And then you can start asking yourself the bigger questions of what you know, do I do this? Do I do this? Is this the right path for me? Is that the right path for me? You can ask yourself those questions. But I practice this at least half a dozen times a day. You know, do I have eggs for breakfast? Do I have toast? Literally. Use it daily and get used to how your body feels in that true false narrative, because we are energetic. And if we don't understand our energy, how are we going to heal other people? So your first tip is to identify your limiting beliefs and to test them out, whether they are true, false, whether they are true for you. My hourly, here's a great one. My hourly rate is $50 an hour. Okay. Or my hourly rate is, for my healing sessions, is X number, X. That's a true statement, right? My price is now, let's say you were making $50 and you want to go to $100. My hourly rate is $100 an hour. You might fall forward, you might fall backwards. That would be a great way to test whether or not you are charging the right prices for your services. Because a lot of times, especially when it comes to money, we have a lot of limiting beliefs around money, believe it or not. So once you figure out and identify what that limiting belief is, I want you to reframe it. So let's say you want to raise your price from $50 to $100 an hour. I raise my price to $100 an hour. You fall forward. I raise my prices to $100 an hour. Okay. But it feels icky to you. I believe I'm worth $100 an hour. Now, maybe this is where you fall backwards. So you can reframe that to, I am worthy of $100 an hour. I am worthy of $100 an hour. I deserve $100 an hour. I reframe that. Now, when you reframe it to what you want, now let's say that you don't believe that you're worth $100 an hour because maybe you've been programmed to believe that because you didn't go to college, or you didn't have a certain education, or maybe somebody told you weren't worthy of that money growing up. I am worthy. I am deserving of this money. And this is a daily affirmation that you're going to tell yourself. There are different trains of thought on how many times a day you should say an affirmation, when you should say it. I like to do them in meditative states, and I like to repeat them 3 times, but do what works for you. But you need to stay committed to this. And this is where it gets tricky. because the universe is going to test you. Now, as a healer, we usually tend to give away our gifts. Guilty? I am. I give it away. With that, I remember a few years ago, I was like the person that everybody came to for everything. I was reliable, I was dependable, I did it all. And it got to a point where I was doing so much for other people that I didn't have time for myself. And I was like, well, if I'm going to be doing these things for these people, they need to compensate me financially. My time is worth money. And I figured out how much I was making at my job per hour because I was a waitress. So my salary would fluctuate. But in general, I was making a decent salary. I was making a certain amount of money per hour on average. And when somebody asked me to do something, like when my roommate would ask me to drive him to work, I'm like, well, it takes time. It's wear and tear on my car. You know, the IRS rate is 50 cents a mile or 55 cents a mile. So I should be getting at least, you know, it was 8 miles there and 8 miles back. So I should be making at least $8 for that. Not to mention my time. It was 30 minutes there, 30 minutes back. So, you know, I kind of put all that together to him and I said, listen, we need to have a conversation. I'm driving you to work. I'm picking you up from work. I need to be financially compensated for this. My time and my car's wear and tear and the gas alone is worth money. And if you had to take a cab, you know how much you'd be spending $30 to take a cab. I think it's only right that you financially compensate me. And he was agreeable to that. And we came up with a figure. And then right after I did this, I remember I was leaving my job. It was later at night. And this woman was stuck in the parking lot and needed a jump start in her car. She tried to give me $5 and I refused. I went, no, please, it's my pleasure to help you. You know, I got my jumper cables out, whatever, I hooked it up, got her started so she could get her groceries home. It was fine. But then I got in my car and I was like, I should have had a V8. I just made this agreement with the universe that I was not going to give my time and my effort away anymore. And that I needed to be compensated in some form for it. And here was the perfect example of that. And I was giving it away. And I went, you know what? You're right. That was a test. And I realized it was a test. And the next time that test comes up, I'm going to realize it that much quicker. And I'm going to accept the $5 or the flower or whatever it is that is being offered in exchange, because there needs to be an exchange. So, my 3 tips are to identify your limiting beliefs and test them out. 2, reframe your challenging beliefs and create affirmations out of them and say them however many times a day works for you. And then stay committed to that. Don't mess around with it. Stay committed, because the universe is going to test you. And that, my friends, is how we change our limiting beliefs. So, I hope you enjoyed today's training. Wishing you much success. Oh, and before we close out, want to let you know, if you're having challenges with this or anything else in your business and want a little support, please take me up on my free 30-minute Holistic Biz Breakthrough. In the Holistic Biz Breakthrough, what we're going to do is we're going to assess your biggest challenge, lay out a mini plan or next step for you, and see if we want to work together moving forward. So grab your spot at tinyurl.com/chatwithsteph, STEPH. It's all one word. You'll find it below. You'll find the link below in the comments. And I wish you much success. Namaste.